So Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is right on the horizon. You can find my full review on the channel now, but we gotta talk about other people's reactions, guys, because this is getting a lot of praise. So I definitely want to highlight how people are feeling about Invincible Season 2 Part 2, guys. Let's check out these reactions. All right, y'all, so yours truly up first. You know, I said Invincible Season 2 Part 2 was a blast with gore-filled, action-packed moments and great character moments, guys. I really enjoyed this season. I loved the dynamic between Mark and Debbie and Mark and Amber, and also how the villains in this season really test Mark's morality, guys. I love what they're doing with this character and with this show, and they're going through the comics pretty quickly, so I'm really enjoying it, guys. Let's move on to the next one here with Metalcore Nerds, who says, Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is the most brutal display of with great power comes great responsibility. Very well said. It's dense, bloody, dark, and extremely profound. It stands tall amongst one of the best comic book adaptations ever. One of best comic book adaptations ever. Very well said. He's got his review linked in there, guys. I am so excited for more Invincible because this part was so good, guys. I loved Part 2. Let's continue. We've got Gotham Girl, Nadia Martinez, who says, Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is bloodier and more emotional than ever as it encapsulates all of Mark's worst fears with loads of brutally shocking moments, a multitude of surprises, major reveals, countless new enemies, and a legion of intertwined plot lines. And it handles those plots well, because not all superhero properties can handle a lot of plot lines that well. Very well said, Nadia. I had such a good time with all of the storylines and how they handle these new villains, returning villains. They really do a good job. While some of them, I think, didn't get as much screen time as needed, that was one of the things I didn't quite love. I do think that there is a lot of good interweaving going on here. Let's continue. We've got Chris, Luminous Dagger, who says, I watched Invincible Season 2 Part 2 early and it delivered. Every episode provides with great action and emotional moments that are filled with great character work. There's more blood and gore than ever before. It's so worth the watch. There are also some neat surprises. And I do love the character moments we get here. We get more with Rexplode. We get more with the Immortal. We get more with so many more characters. I love how much we get and dive deep into characters, even in just 4 episodes that we really didn't do too much of in Part 1, but here we do such a good job of visiting characters individually and building their inner arcs, and I'm loving it, guys. Let's continue. We've got CG Magazine, who says Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is a masterful blend of storytelling and character depth that cements the series as one of the best superhero shows on television. Completely agree. This and The Boys are so good, guys. I love how they do storytelling, and I love what they do with just superheroism and how these people question what makes a great superhero. What does it mean? What does with great power comes great responsibility mean? I love what they do here. We've got Murphy's Multiverse, who says superhero fatigue ? Part 2 of Invincible Season 2 shits on that notion, instead gives you a dark story about a fatigued superhero. Very well said. Yeah, Mark is very tired here. We've got from the streamer, Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is a triumphant return for the Prime Video series, which rolls out episodes from March 14th. They got their full review down below, and guys, man oh man, I love it. I love the dynamic between Mark and Alan in this season, and I didn't mention it in my review, because I thought, oh, I didn't know if they were going to actually let us talk about Alan, but there's pictures out, so man, I love the dynamic between the two of them in this one. I loved Alan coming back, dude. It was so good. Seth Rogen's a great voice actor too. I really enjoy his presence as Alan. Very, very good character. Let's continue. We've got my good friend Shoria Chawla here, who says, Part 2 of Invincible Season 2 continues and concludes. The storylines are set up in a dramatic and obviously violent manner. Sets up interesting stories to come. And y'all, I can't wait for more stories because, man oh man, it sets up quite a few things that down the road are gonna be crazy. Y'all, I am so excited for this. Let's continue. We've got Fat Thor, who says, Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is incredible. Picking up right where we left off, the second half is even more intense, fun and insanely creative. Invincible is by far the best superhero content out right now, with no signs of slowing down. And yes, listen, that wait was hard. I get it, that wait was tough. I didn't want to wait that long either, and I felt like, okay, we're slipping Invincible. What? We're getting out of the limelight. What's going on? Man, I watched these 4 episodes, y'all, and let me tell you, I was like, okay, that break came and went, because I love the series as it is. I'm really enjoying following this series. I hope we don't have to wait too long for season 3, but man, season 1 and season 2 have been some incredible superhero television. Honestly, my favorite superhero TV show out right now. I love The Boys. I think it's almost on Invincible's heels, but Invincible is just doing it, man, with how it's talking about, like they were saying, fatigue in superheroes. Also, the morality of Mark and how he feels about being his father's son and his father's legacy now after the events of season 1. We really visit that over and over and over, and they do a great job of showing us how Mark feels about those actions, showing us how Mark feels about what Nolan did. It's very, very profound. I love the storytelling in this. Steven Yeun and Sandra Oh and J.K. Simmons, the rest of the voice cast, all incredible performers, guys. I'm loving it so far. Let's continue. We got Screen Time, who says, Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is harrowing, edge of your seat, dynamite television. Couldn't have said it better than myself. Absolutely dynamite TV, guys. I'm loving Invincible. Listen, every single episode is just so good. There's some episodes better than others, of course, but every episode, I'm just loving what they're doing with these episodes, guys. Last but not least, I had myself one more time, and y'all, I just want to say Invincible Season 2 Part 2 absolutely delivered. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I didn't see too many negative tweets out there, so maybe there's some people who didn't quite like it. If you're one of those people, let me know down in the comments what you're thinking about Invincible Season 2 so far. But man, Season 2 Part 2, in my opinion, delivered more than Part 1. Was it worth the wait? I didn't want to wait, but sure, I would say it was worth the wait. I don't want to wait, though. I don't really want to wait every single time. I hope Season 3 comes a lot quicker than the break between Season 1 and Season 2, because man, oh man, what they're setting up here with the Viltrumites and all these different storylines they're setting up are so good, dude. And I don't want to wait, y'all. I don't want to wait, but y'all gotta let me know your thoughts down in the comments. How are you feeling about Invincible Season 2 Part 2 if you haven't seen it yet? And if you have, let me know your thoughts on the Part 2, guys. I think where I'm ranking it, I've got Season 1 at the top, then very closely Season 2 Part 2, and then Season 2 Part 1. All 3 very excellent television, but man, Season 2 just steps all the good things up about Part 1, makes them 100, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and hey, if you're new to the channel, the name is Leo Rydell. This is Geekly Goods, where we cover the MCU, DCU, movies, TV, Invincible, and more. We'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.